Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Well, my name is Mairead. I'm joining from Boston. I wish I could be there with all of you tonight, but I had to go back to work after this delegation. But sending lots of love and glad so many people could be with us tonight. And I could go on for a long time about the importance of this delegation, everything that we learned through our participation in this People's Assembly for Peace and Sovereignty in our Americas, with representatives from over 40 countries that came into Caracas last week in December. So I'll just touch on this conference lightly. There were panelists from across the globe that highlighted the development of popular power in Venezuela, the resurgence of anti-colonialist resistance in Africa, ending the continued genocide against the Palestinian people, the role of the corporate media in propagating an information war against the socialist processes of the global South, and the need to amplify the voices of the youth generations and all generations to strengthen our movements. This assembly was of political significance because it was an opportunity to show unwavering solidarity with the Venezuelan people and the Venezuelan Bolivarian Revolution and unite internationally across our struggles for liberation against a common enemy. Tactically, it was an opportunity to defy the illegal US-imposed no-fly zone through the determination to hold this event by any means necessary. We know that most of our delegation and others from delegations from different countries could not attend, and we took every opportunity to condemn this repression on the Solidarity Movement and Venezuelan sovereignty. We also really appreciated getting to soak in the beauty of Venezuela and the revolutionary joy of the people as they continue to advance toward meeting the needs of their people, despite so many continued aggressions from the US, which include intensifying sanctions, the seizure of an oil tanker headed for Cuba while we were at this conference, an illegal naval blockade, listing the Venezuelan government on the list of terrorist organizations, and real threats of all-out war for oil and regime change.
Okay, sure.
And please mute if you're on Zoom. One key development during our trip was the formation of the Francisco de Miranda Solidarity Committee between the people of Venezuela and the people of the US, which took place in the socialist commune El Penal 2021 in Caracas. The people in Venezuela want to know what struggles the working class are up against here and what actions we're taking to escalate our resistance from inside the belly of the beast. And we here in the US need to know what the realities are in Venezuela to combat all the propaganda being pushed by the Pentagon news. The people of Venezuela are in the streets in the hundreds of thousands almost every day defending their revolution. The world needs to see that they are fully prepared for any war maneuvers, and we need to take note and get prepared here, not only to stop this war for oil, but also to smash this system, squeezing the entire planet and replace it with one built by us. But the most important question that I want to stress as we organize moving forward is what steps do we need to take to strengthen our movements here in the US? Venezuela models how to organize through their intentional united front that includes all sectors of society, excuse me, including unions, workers, students, indigenous communities, housing collectives, social justice organizations, the PSUV, and the government itself. This unity is what makes it possible for them to train disciplined armed militias, constantly bring the masses out into the streets, and construct self-determination on the community level. The Venezuelan government even organized an international anti-fascist front over a year ago, which continues to progress in order to spread this participation to communities formed on every continent of the globe that are taking direct action against fascist threats. We practice united front tactics on a small scale within our US delegation, made up of representatives from different organizations across the left that all took part in the Coordinated National Week of Action in November to demand no U.S. war on Venezuela and no troops on our streets. At the conference, we developed our strategies for participation collectively. We moved as a unit and delegated tasks based on different comrades' abilities. We maintained a principled political line for peace, even when encountering intelligentsia and opposition forces, which wasn't common, but it did happen, and prioritized the safety of the group. We prepared extensively to come back to continue our work in the streets with militant unity between our organizations, with the goal of reaching more sectors of the working class that are struggling to survive while bombs are shipped overseas. All of this was practiced for what we need to do here in the Imperial Corps. The main takeaway that I want to share from the delegation is that we need each other and a whole lot more of us to carry out our own revolution here relevant to this context that will have an impact on the entire globe. The legacy of our revolutionary heroes like Chavez and Che and Fidel, Malcolm X and Harriet Tubman and Assata Shakur remind us that we must continue to fight like hell together with the revolutionary optimism that we will be successful. Those of us in Workers' World Party have been putting out a call to the entire movement and will continue to put out this call and hope that others will join us for the formation of a united front against fascism and imperialism separate from the ruling war parties in Washington. Not just in name, but in practice and action taken together in the streets to strengthen collectively, to widen our outreach efforts nationally in a coordinated way, to unite, to fight and show the current dominant class that all of their attempts to divide us will be unsuccessful. So many of our organizations share similar, if not very similar, revolutionary lines, and we have more in common with each other than we do with our class enemy. And the differences that we do have are a point to struggle forward around, putting sectarianism aside, as our friends in Cuba and Venezuela are telling us that we need to do. And we're listening. We're engaging across so many campaigns to address the challenges that our class is up against, none of which exist within a vacuum. Venezuela's sovereignty and the U.S. blockade on Cuba are class issues, and so are climate justice, the cuts to social benefits, ICE raids, and access to gender-affirming care here in the U.S. If we want to see an end to all U.S. wars at home and abroad, if we want to overthrow capitalism, we need a united front. So I look forward to continuing to have this conversation in the coming period, continuing to escalate our resistance and figure out how we put this united front into action in the spirit of Simón Bolívar. And viva Venezuela. Thank you.